Today, I want to talk about child maltreatment and more specifically, how often it happens, who's most at risk, and why stranger danger is perpetrator propaganda. Child maltreatment is challenging to research and estimate for several reasons. Children are generally harmed by a parent who they are usually with most of the time, or they may think what is happening to them is normal, or they may be not able to articulate what is happening, or they may have been threatened by perpetrators to keep secrets. Nevertheless, the Crimes Against Children Research Center has come to the rescue with their nationally representative study of child maltreatment in the United States. So overall, David Finkelhor and his colleagues at the University of New Hampshire estimated that about 1 in 8 children, or about 12%, experience at least one form of child maltreatment each year. Now, turning to official statistics collected by the Administration for Children and Families, data from 2020 revealed that there were about 4 million calls to child protective agencies, that were about 7.1 million children who were alleged to have suffered abuse or neglect. And out of the 4 million complaints, only about 17% were substantiated, meaning that the case was investigated and there was enough evidence to corroborate the allegations of abuse or neglect. Of the 17% of cases, neglect was by far the most common, followed by physical and sexual abuse. It's important to note the cases that come to the attention of child protective agencies are reported. So it's likely that these estimates are actually not capturing the true picture. In fact, the estimates are likely higher given that there are cases of abuse that are either never reported or never uncovered. Regardless, the findings show that the younger the child, the more susceptible they are to abuse and maltreatment. In fact, 1 in 3 victims of child maltreatment in 2020 were younger than 2 years old. Now, everyone talks to their children about strangers, and while that's an important conversation to have, it's really only going to protect children from about 8 to 10% of the people who are going to try to harm them. Most of the time, it's going to be a family member, a close friend of the family, someone that the parents will report later who they thought could be trusted, they allowed in their home, or it may be even one of the parents. But in general, when talking about child maltreatment, perpetrators are almost always known to the victim. The most common perpetrator in the 2020 data found that it was one or both parents followed by a friend, a neighbor, or others, which can include coaches, Boy Scout leaders, teachers, or someone who has regular access to children. In 2020, substantiated cases found that the most common perpetrator was a mother abusing children alone, followed by a father abusing children alone, or both guardians abusing the child, either together or in separate incidents, followed by cases where the perpetrator was not a parent, like relatives or unmarried partners, like step-parents or